This is the weekly college highlights and ranking show presented on NSCAA TV by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. The world's largest soccer coaches organization, the NSCAA is dedicated to providing the best in soccer coaching education as well as membership services and benefits. To learn more, visit nscaa.com. And Continental Tire is the presenting sponsor of the NSCAA Highlights and Ranking Show on NSCAA TV. Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. Find out more at continentaltire.com. And this is a special Missouri Athletic Award Hermann Trophy Watch List preview show. And of course, Patrick Mullins won the 2012 Hermann Trophy in the men's game. He had a fantastic last year for Sasso Soroski's Maryland Terrapins team, leading that high-scoring attack with 17 goals and 10 assists in 2012. He tallied 7 game winners to lead Maryland to the best winning percentage in the country at 21-3. An NSCAA first-team All-American. Mullins' 2012 season ranked 6th in points and goals, and he is returning for his senior year at Maryland, where there is sure to be record crowds to see Patrick Mullins go off and try to repeat as the MAC Hermann Trophy winner. And in the women's game, Crystal Dunn was fantastic for the University of North Carolina. The 3-time returning letter winner also won a World Cup with the U.S. Under-20 team and is now representing the full U.S. national team. In limited time last year, she scored 5 goals and added 5 assists and was a key playmaker in every one of the College Cup final games, including the 4-1 win over Penn State. Crystal Dunn is returning also for her senior year, and she is the reigning MAC Hermann Trophy Award winner. Patrick Mullins and Crystal Dunn, as we are delighted to welcome you into our NSCAA TV studios and, of course, the NSCAA Weekly College Highlights and Review Show with Patrick Mullins and Crystal Dunn trying to repeat as Hermann Trophy winners. Hello, buddy. I'm Dean Linke. Delighted to be with you for this very special presentation of the NSCAA Highlights and Weekly Review Show right here on NSCAATV.com as we break down all 34 men and 31 women that are candidates to win this year's Missouri Athletic Club Hermann Trophy Award. Of course, a lot of people to thank as well. I want to thank the SIDs for supplying such great information on all these players, the coaches as well. Our producer director is Kyle Lang, and we've got to thank our sponsors as well. Well, to get things started, we thought it was fitting that we'd welcome in, of course, a MAC Hermann Trophy winner. His name is Jason Gary. He starred at Maryland, won the Hermann Trophy in 2005 when he scored 22 goals and led Sasso Soroski's team to a national championship. What a great year. When you think about the MAC Hermann Trophy, what's it mean to you, Jason?
It was a tremendous individual honor, but you know, just going on top of the national championship that year, I think anybody that's won this honor, be it men or women, will, you know, give a great deal of credit to their teammates. But that year in 2005, we had won the national championship, and it was just a great, you know, cherry on the top to a career. And I know a lot of the former winners probably feel the same way.
Well, before we roll to the list, I do want to tell everybody that Jason Gary is not the only Hermann Trophy winner. We will hear from Teal Bunbury, who starred at Akron. He won it in 2009 before joining Sporting Kansas City. John Kerr won it in 1986 and now coaching his alma mater at Duke. A little later on the program, we'll hear from arguably one of the greatest midfielders to ever play the collegiate game, Christine Lilly, who also had 350 appearances plus for the U.S. national team. And we'll hear from Natasha Nase, who's a candidate to win it for Duke. And then how about Carrie Hanks? She won it not once, but twice while starring at Notre Dame. That's all to come here on this fantastic show. But we said there's 34 men that are on the list. So Jason Gary, let's get right to it as we take a look first at the goalkeepers in the men's game that are picked to perhaps win the MAC Hermann Trophy. Break it down for us, Jason.
Yeah, one of the guys that really stands out to me is Andrew Blake, the junior goalkeeper from UConn. He's a former member of the U17 and U20 Jamaican national teams. He's a back-to-back Big East Goalkeeper of the Year. He's allowed only 12 goals last year. All season, he allowed only 12 goals for a .53 goals against average. And even atop that, his freshman year, he had a .39 goals against average. So no one's really scoring against this guy. He's you know, less than a goal every 2 games. The other guy that stands out is Tyler Miller, the 6'4", 195-pound senior from Northwestern. He spent time in the U18 national team camp in his younger years. He's all Big Ten as a junior and played every minute of the season last year, earning the Big Ten Goalkeeper of the Year. He's got 2 Big Ten titles under his belt, so goalkeeper position is pretty sound up there in Northwestern.
Indeed, doing a great job for Tim Lenahan, and then John McCarthy at LaSalle, and Spencer Ritchie doing a fine job for Washington out in the Pac-12. Those are your goalkeepers on the 2013 Men's MAC Hermann Watch List. All right, let's roll to defenders now, and there are several of them. Who do you like on that list, Jason Gary?
Yeah, I really like Boyd Akwanu, the defender from North Carolina. He came up through the FC Dallas youth system. He was one of the top recruits in the country a few years ago, and he's really solidified the UNC back line. He was a preseason All-American first team this year, and he projects as a great outside back moving on to the next level. But he'll try to get some more work done here for UNC and push towards a national championship this year.
Others on that list, of course, Nick Hagelin from Xavier, Anthony Manning from St. Louis. You mentioned Boyd. And then you've got Patrick Slogic from Cornell and Cristobal Soto from American, Nicholas Walker from Farley Dickinson, and Kyle Venter from New Mexico. All right, let's take a deeper look here now at, we also want to point out Matt Polster from SIUE, but Tim Parker from St. John's, as we've got some video on him, coached by Dr. Dave Mazur. The St. John's are always a perennial power in the NCAA level.
They sure are. They're always tough to play against. Tim Parker's a former Gatorade New York Player of the Year, so there's a lot of competition up there. Also spent time in the U18 national team pool. He's preseason All Big East player, and he played every single minute for Dave Mazur's St. John's team last year. So he's going to be the key there to their defense this year.
Every time Dr. Dave Mazur puts the lineup out, you'll see that man right there, Tim Parker. Well, actually, right at Duke, Sebastian Ibeagha is also on that list. And Ibeagha, they continue to put out great defenders. Andrew Wenger, of course, won the Hermann Trophy a couple years ago. Now they've got Ibeagha, who played a little bit with Wenger. Yeah, they do, and he's going to be a key to them again this year, just solidifying the back line. He's a leader back there, leads by example, and Duke will look to build on last year's NCAA tournament appearance. Sebastian Ibeagha's brother Christian also played for Duke as well, as you take a look at the big man, number 5. All right, John Kerr, we mentioned he won the Hermann Trophy back in 1986, leading Duke to their first ever national championship in any sport, period. And we caught up with John Kerr to get his thoughts on winning the Hermann Trophy.
It was an awesome feeling, and the previous 3 winners at Duke were happening right before my very eyes, because Joey Ulrich won the Hermann Trophy in 1982, right when I was being a senior recruit to Duke. And then my freshman year, Mike Jeffries won it in 1983. And then we skipped a year and let Columbia win it for a year, and then Tommy King won it in 1985. And I was thinking, geez, I better have an unbelievable year, because I doubt they would give Duke a Hermann Trophy 4 out of 5 years. So luckily for me, we had a great year, and we won the national championship, and I think that helped my chances quite a bit. And I can't put it into word what it felt, but it was a wonderful feeling, and I was so proud, and my parents were so excited, and something I'll never forget.
What's it like to come back to your alma mater where you won a national title?
Well, my first venture back to Duke was in 1992 as assistant coach to Coach Rennie, and that was a great time for me, because I figured after that episode of coaching here in the fall of '92 that I wanted to get into coaching at some point at the college level. And I coached guys like Jason Price, Garth Lagaway, Chris Yankee, and some other great players. And it was a thrill for me to be here. I felt natural and normal, and then to come back here years later as the head coach is beyond my wildest dreams, and something I always dreamed about.
Now, what does the NSCAA do for college soccer?
Well, it's at the forefront of the administration-wise of college soccer, and advertising and promoting, and it really puts us on the map. And we need a voice, and they're our voice and our #1 fans, and unbelievably supportive. And it's an honor to be in their organization.
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
Don't want to miss the NSCAA College Soccer Special. 11 games on the books already with one more to be added, and it all gets started on Friday, August 30th, a doubleheader down in Tampa, South Florida and Clemson. And then South Florida and Florida Gulf Coast, the men and the women play respectively. There's some big-time games here. Friday, September 6th, Jason Gary's Maryland Terrapins, the #2 team in the country, take on John Kerr's Duke team. That is on Friday night. Then you'll also see the Duke women taking on Miami on Thursday, September 12th. How can you forget Tuesday, September 24th, the Akron Zips, led by their new coach Jared Embick, taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes, coached by John Bloom. We'll check out Tim Vom Steeg's UC Santa Barbara team to end September. Unbelievable games with Virginia and Maryland on the women's side. Tulsa and New Mexico men, 2 top 20 teams. Louisville and UConn in October. Duke, Wake Forest, ACC men as well on October 25th, and then Army, Navy men to wrap it up. And we'll add one more game in there as you take a look at the NSCAA College Soccer Special. Speaking of specials, this is a special Missouri Athletic Club Hermann Trophy edition of the weekly college review and highlight show on NSCAATV.com. Goalkeepers, defenders are in the books. Now midfielders, getting closer to where you like to play, Jason,
right.
Gary, an exciting list. Let's take a look here now at the midfielders for the 2013 men's MAC Hermann Watch List.
Yeah, one of the guys that sticks out to me is Jared Watts, the Wake Forest center midfielder. Great youth career, played for both the U17 and U20 national teams. Was actually a captain at the U17 World Cup. He's a 2-time All-ACC first-team selection for Jay Vidovich over there in Wake Forest. He's kind of the most recent in a long line of Demon Deacon center midfielders playing in the pros, guys like Sam Cronin, Wells Thompson, Brian Carroll. So look to him for him to have a very, very good season this year. And then kind of an under-the-radar guy that I like is Romina Bowie from VCU. He's been part of the Jamaican national team pool, and he's an all-rookie team in the Colonial Athletic Conference, and he's kind of an under-the-radar guy that could have a great season for VCU.
Others on the list, Omar Mata from Tulsa. Coastal Carolina's got a great program on the rise. They got the Brazilian Pedro Ribeiro. Joseph Smith from Monmouth, another one of those rising programs. As you mentioned, Watts. Liam Collins, outstanding for Richie Grant down at Memphis. If they have a couple players on this list, we'll get to their forward, Sherrod, in just a little bit. Let's take a look now, though, at Tyler Gibson, the senior midfielder from Charlotte. Charlotte now a regular, making long runs for the College Cup. 2 years ago, they played in the College Cup final. And part of the reason is this man here, Tyler Gibson.
Yeah, he scored a lot of goals, and he kind of runs the midfield there in Charlotte. And they've been a program that's on the rise, and he's had a great deal to do with that.
Had game-winning goals last year against Stony Brook and Duquesne, as he is a clutch player indeed. And a good look there at Tyler Gibson. Now, when you think about clutch players winning the Hermann Trophy, you got to think of Akron's Teal Bunbury, who was outstanding in just 2 years. Teal Bunbury winning it in 2009, leading Akron Zips all the way to the College Cup final. They lost in penalty kicks that year. They would win it the year after, and Bunbury would go on to be the 4th overall pick in the Major League Soccer draft. And we called up with the 2009 winner of the MAC Hermann Trophy, Teal Bunbury.
There was a lot of things going on that season, but I would say just how committed we were as a team at Akron. I mean, there was a huge philosophy of just wanting to set a lot of goals for our team, and each player bought into that, and just the fans really helped take our team to another level. So that season, I feel like was huge for us. I was a little bit not shocked, but a little bit taken back. I was there up against 2 other guys that deserved it as well. So it was a great feeling. Definitely all the hard work, your team puts out the whole season, and to get an award that I feel is a team award really felt good to get up there and really just accept it on the team's behalf, just knowing that all the work you put in throughout the whole season, all the effort the fans are giving, and all the support from your family and friends, it was a great feeling. I feel like it's a good accomplishment, obviously, and I'm honored and blessed to have won that. But I honestly don't think about it too much. In the moment, it was, like I said, a great team award and a great feeling to be noticed of, you know, the work you were putting in and the amount of time you put into the game, and for accomplishments like that to come your way, and just acknowledging all the work and things that you're doing pays off. So I feel like it's a great feeling looking back on it, and just really pleased to have accomplished something like that, and hopefully there could be many more opportunities like that. I really didn't even know that, to be honest, but knowing now, I feel like that's great. You know, like I said, a team award, I feel like there was other players that maybe deserved it as well, but knowing that, you know, I was a third sophomore, it's a cool feeling, and you know, honored. Playing in college really took my game to another level, especially playing at Akron, where the philosophy and style of play there was to keep possession of the ball, and when we would lose it, to track back and try to win it as quickly as possible and keep it again, and keep jumping on the other team and not letting them breathe, really. So I feel like for my position as a striker, playing at Akron really took my game to another level, learning to make better runs, learning to hold the ball up well, and just being able to be involved with different formations. So definitely playing at college took my game to a level where I would be able to jump into the professional level and the speed of play quicker than maybe not playing in college.
Teal Bunbury attended Shattuck St. Mary's School, so it makes perfect sense that his interview is presented by Shattuck St. Mary's, a college prep boarding school with a full-time residential soccer center of excellence for boys and girls and a member of the U.S. Soccer Development Academy. To learn more, visit www.s-sm.org. Congratulations to Teal Bunbury and Shattuck St. Mary's as we roll on here on this special MAC Hermann Trophy Award presentation on NSCAA TV, and we roll right to the forwards. Jason Gary, a position that you played all so well. Let's talk about this impressive list.
Yeah, traditionally the Hermann Trophy has gone to a forward who's scored a lot of goals, and we have a great list of guys that have scored a lot of goals over their careers. And you'll go through some of the guys, but two of the guys that stand out to me is Mamadou Diouf up from UConn. He's a forward. He's a native of Senegal. He was a semifinalist last year for the award, and he's back on the list again this year. He was a second-team All-American and scored 15 goals last year for Ray Reid and the Huskies. And in his career, he scored over 30 goals. So they're going to really be dependent on him to hit the back of the net this year. And another guy that I like is Robbie Christo, the 6'4", 205-pound junior from St. Louis. He was also on the semifinalist list last year. He scored 11 goals and added 5 assists. And he comes from that long line of St. Louis center forwards. You got guys like Taylor Twellman, Pat Noonan, and more recently Will Bruin, who plays for the Houston Dynamo. All guys from St. Louis that played that center forward position very well, and he's the next in line.
And taking a look at the list, Gideon Asante, another Shattuck St. Mary's product who plays for Alan Dawson at Old Dominion. Jared Embrick's got a great one, and Ronaldo Brennis, another star player from Akron. David Gino at East Tennessee State is very, very good. Christian Mata from Tulsa. We all know about Patrick Mullins. He won it last year and could be the odds-on favorite to win it this year. Georgetown's Brian Weiss has Steve Newman up top, who's very good. Mark Sherrod can flat out put the ball in the back of the net for Richie Grant and Reed Williams. Let's take a deeper look, though, at Charlotte's star player in the midfield, Giuseppe Gentile. He is a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, he scored a lot of goals for Charlotte. Like I said, the up-and-coming program. He finished with a team-leading 7 assists and 25 points last year. So he's really putting Charlotte on the map.
All right, and then we'll take a look then at Mackenzie Pridham, who stars for Paul Holliker out at Cal Poly, as Cal Poly continues to put great teams together and unbelievable matchups out there as well, taking on UCSB in a tremendous rivalry, including games that have been featured as part of the NSCAA Game of the Week. And Mackenzie Pridham, the forward, he's a senior from Toronto, is very, very good. And then last on the list here, Christian Valesky, who is at SIUE. He's from Las Vegas. He's a junior forward for SIUE. And I'll tell you, they're playing some very good soccer at SIUE. And then Reed Williams is another player. He's a senior, freshman forward, senior forward from UCLA, from Newport Beach, California, as you're looking again at some more highlights from Christian Valesky. And those are the forwards. As we've shown you, the goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and forwards, all of them right here, all 34 candidates to win the 2013 Missouri Athletic Club Hermann Trophy Award. Jason Gary, I'm going to put you on the spot right here. That's what we do on this program. Who do you think will walk away with the hardware this year?
Yeah, I think the odds-on favorite is my Louisiana boy, Patrick Mullins. But you never know. Any of these guys could have a great season. Midfielders, defenders. I really like some of the goalkeepers to have a great season as well, but I think the odds-on favorite is for Patrick Mullins to repeat.
Double-double. Gary from Baton Rouge, Mullins from New Orleans. Both of these players played at Maryland as well. Who said Jason Gary's not a homer? I like it very much as he loves his Terps. All right, when we come back, Charlie Slagle will join us to break down the women's list. We'll hear from Christine Lilly, Carrie Hanks, Natasha Anasi. So many great things right here on NSCAA TV. Don't go away.
Global Mills needed to unload excess inventory, and we must make room. So right now, you can get an unheard-of flooring deal at Lumber Liquidators Flooring Clearance Sale. Get first quality laminate from 39 cents a square foot. Beautiful bamboo from 59 cents. Pre-finished hardwood from 99 cents. And all vinyl plank flooring is on sale. Plus, get 12 months special financing. First come, first served. These deals will not last. Don't wait. Our flooring clearance sale is going on now. Get to Lumber Liquidators before these deals get away.
Tra la la, tra la, tra la, pleasure.
And we're back on NSCAA TV on Tuesday, September 3rd for another edition of the NSCAA Weekly College Highlights and Ranking Show presented by our good friends from Continental Tire. And of course, you can tune in all the time at NSCAA TV or NSCAA.com for the latest rankings releases. Again, presented by Continental Tire. Delighted to be with you here today on NSCAATV.com. I want to thank Jason Gary, who won the Hermann Trophy in 2005, for breaking down the 34 candidates for the MAC Hermann Trophy in 2013. Charlie Slagle didn't win the Hermann Trophy, but he did an amazing job for 20-plus years at Davidson as their head coach, now as the CEO of the Capital Area Soccer League. And you're here to break down the 31 candidates on the women's side. Always exciting. Women's soccer is huge at the collegiate level.
No question, and there are some great players, and it's a good group. There's 16 states from their hometowns represented out of the 31, 3 internationals. 7 of the teams have 2. Navy, Georgetown, Penn State, Florida State, UNC, Wake, and Santa Clara all have dual entries in this watch list.
Good numbers watch there by Charlie Slagle. Of course, Crystal Dunn is your reigning champ. But let's start with the goalkeepers, as there's some phenomenal goalkeepers on this list, Charlie.
Yes, there's no question. Led off by Kelsey Weiss from Florida State. They had 17 shutouts in 2012. One of the best teams in the country. Kelsey Weiss, senior goalkeeper. Also, let's look at Navy. Elizabeth Horner. They were 19-2-1. She was leading, obviously, in the Patriot League, but she was the Patriot League Scholar Athlete of the Year, not just for soccer, for all sports.
And Aubrey Bledsoe on that list. But let's take a deeper look at Kelsey Weiss, who plays for Mark Krikorian. She was a key component to that Seminole defense that set school records for shutouts, goals against average, and fewest goals allowed, only 4 in ACC play a year ago. And the Seminole defense went on to finish the season ranked in the top 40 nationally in shutouts percentage, goals against average, and save percentage, as Weiss was named a 3rd-team All-American and a key part of Mark Krikorian's Florida State Seminole team. That's the goalkeepers here as we get started. Now let's take a look at the defenders on the 2013 Women's MAC Hermann Watch List.
And the Big Ten Defender of the Year, Whitney Church from Penn State, a junior defender. They went to the final 2 last year, lost to North Carolina in the final, but Whitney, a big leader there. Then let's look at Abigail Dalkemper from UCLA, 2-time All-American, junior defender, so freshman and sophomore All-American. Then you have Marissa Diggs from University of Central Florida, UCF. She was the Conference USA Defender of the Year last year. And Natasha Anasi, who we're going to see some film of. A great connector, according to Robbie Church, and great on and off the field.
Aaron Gilligan from Kentucky, Emily Menges from Georgetown, Jade Seabrook and Navy. You mentioned Marisa Diggs from UCF. She is from Texas. And let's take a look at the fine play of Marisa Diggs, a defender from UCF.
Right, and they have a very good program down there in Orlando, and they led by Marisa.
You can see how tough Diggs is as well as you take a look at that B-roll there. And then let's switch it to Natasha Anasi. Keep in mind, she was a semifinalist a year ago, so she came oh so close as Duke under Robbie Church continues to field fantastic teams. And you're taking a look there at Natasha Anasi, a wonderful player out of Texas.
Right, a very good player for Duke. And as I said, Robbie Church says she's just as good a kid off the field as she is on the field, and a great connector and a great communicator with her teammates.
Well, you mentioned communicating with Natasha Anasi, and we were fortunate actually to be able to communicate a little bit with her about being on this list and being a semifinalist a year ago.
Well, we're joined here with senior at Duke University, Natasha Anasi. Natasha, what does it mean to you to be on the Hermann Award watch list?
To be on the list, I think that I'm completely lucky because I play for a very good team, and it's just a complete honor. It's an awesome accolade, and I think it's just an honor, and it says volumes about, I think, the team in general, and it allows me to do what I need to do.
What would it mean to you to be able to win this award?
It'd be awesome. It'd be amazing. I think it would be. It's a dream that I've always had, and I think to actually win that award, it would be amazing. But at the same time, I have to credit my teammates because they are the ones who helped me get to that place.
What are your thoughts on this upcoming season?
I'm really excited. I think we have a lot returning, and I think at the same time we brought in some very excellent players, and I'm really excited to see how we're going to mesh together, and I think we're going to be a very, very tough squad to play against.
For you, coming into your fourth season and starting on the defense for the third straight year, how much are you being a leader out there on the field and everything now, this being your last year?
Yes, I think I have a bigger role than I had before just because I'm surrounded by people who are younger than me, and this is very new for a lot of these people. So I think my role vocally it's been pushing me to the limits because I have a lot more that I need to organize, and at the same time I'm being pushed physically because I just I have to take care of what I have to do at the same time. So it's a bigger role, and I'm really excited to take it on.
When you were going through the recruiting process, going in high school, why did you choose Duke? Why Duke?
I chose Duke because of the balance that there is both academically and athletically, and I think that's a thing that we talk about a lot, is that it's not only and strictly athletics here. We have a great academic institution that we go to, and it is awesome that we can compete on high levels in both of those areas.
Hey, Miss C. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. I just don't want you boys to be late for your big game. Okay, have fun. I'll be right here after the game.
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
And welcome back to the NSCAA Weekly College Highlights and Review Show right here on NSCAA TV, presented by Continental Tire, and this special presentation of the 2013 Missouri Athletic Club Hermann Trophy Watch List. As we continue to break down the women's side, we've already seen the goalkeepers and the defenders. Before we get to the midfielders, we thought it would be fitting to spend time with arguably one of the greatest midfielders to ever play in the collegiate game, and perhaps one of the greatest midfielders to ever wear the USA uniform. More than 350 caps for the USA. But perhaps more notably, she won 4 national championships at UNC, took a year off to win the first ever world championship for the USA. We're talking about the great Kristine Lilly from the University of North Carolina, and we caught up with her. All right, now joined by the 1991 MAC Hermann Award winner, Kristine Lilly. Kristine, thanks for being with us on this special program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Talk about what winning the Hermann Award meant to you.
Well, I think I have more appreciation now, looking back at it, than I did when you were a young kid. But I do remember being honored, and I remember people saying nice things, and that never gets old. So it was really a nice honor. It was a great event. And one that I would love to go back to again to see other recipients, but it was a really nice night.
Kristine, so many great accolades. Of course, the record of 350-plus games is one that people remember, but I think sometimes people might forget that you won 4 national championships at North Carolina, sandwiched between a world championship. Those are 5 amazing years.
It was great, and I think the great part now is I get to remember and look back at the times. And my time at North Carolina was special. I had a special team. Anson was an incredible coach. We had such a great experience down there playing and winning 4 national titles. Yeah, we remember those. We love them, but I have such great friends from back then too. Players like Mia, Tish Venturini, Ange Kelly. And really had a great time down there playing the game, getting an education, enjoying the life in Chapel Hill.
And of course, Mia Hamm also won a Hermann Award during your time. How interesting was that? 2 Hermann Award winners on the same team.
I think Anson was pretty excited about that. It was great. Me and I went in together, and it was we had so much fun playing together at UNC and also on the U.S. team, and had some great wins and some bummer losses as well.
Finally, Kristine, there's a ton of Hermann Award winners now playing with the U.S. team and also professionally as the new league is starting to take off. As you take a look at the progress of the new league, how important is that to you?
Well, I think it's extremely important. It's important for these players to have a place to play and compete. Not everyone's going to make at the national level, so you need that next level for those players to compete and to have us keep up with the rest of the world. All over the country and all over the world, they have leagues, and they're competing and they're getting better. I mean, look at Japan winning the last World Cup. So it's extremely important for those players that want to try to make the national team, but it's also important for the young girls to see other girls playing soccer. Well, we don't have that opportunity as much as young girls seeing, females doing all these sports. So it's extremely important for them to see and to cheer them on as well.
As we wrap it up, you've won so many awards. Where is the Hermann Trophy right now, Kristine?
My dad has a lot of my awards on shelves in our basement, and I think it's right there, probably close to being central. My dad makes sure we kept everything nice and organized. I don't have room in my house, so he keeps it there for now. But it's something I really, truly appreciated and still feel honored to receive.
Well, Kristine, thanks for being with us on this special program, and the best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Indeed, Kristine Lilly, one of the all-time greats, and ironically now it's a midfielder, I guess you could call Crystal Dunn, who won it last year. As we look at the midfielders, who's got to be one of the favorites to win it again this year.
No question. Crystal Dunn, a great athlete. You could put her anywhere on the field and she would be successful, and she has been at defense, up front, in the midfield. It doesn't matter wherever Anson wants to put her, similar to wherever you wanted to put Kristine Lilly. And it's too bad. She just won 4 national titles, but she had to skip a year so she could go win the World Championship.
All right, let's take a look at those midfielders where you will indeed see Crystal Dunn's name.
Yes, Crystal Dunn. I talked to Robbie Church, the coach at Duke, and no question, best player in the country. She's the front runner for this award. She can play everywhere. She's a complete athlete. Gets to play the whole year here this year. Won't have to be with the under-20s who won the World Cup last year. A couple other players to look at. Julie Johnston from Santa Clara, senior midfielder, 8 goals and 5 assists last year. Then you go to one of the sophomores. There's only 3 sophomores on this list. Carrie Riccaro from Notre Dame, the Soccer America Freshman of the Year last year. Really has done well when Notre Dame didn't have her there, like 3-3-1, and then a great record after she came back. Another person to look at from Texas A&M, Megan Strait, a junior. Talked to G. Guerreri, the coach of Texas A&M. It's interesting, I talked to G. Guerreri and to Robbie Church. They're playing each other Friday night down at the beautiful stadium down in College Station. She's dominant in the air. He says he can use her at midfield, where she starts the game, but if they need her in the back, they go to the back. But she is definitely a person that they look for on all set pieces.
All right, as you break down that list, Jesse Ayers is on there, Mark Krikorian's Dagny Brinjar's daughter, easy for me to say. Daphne Corboles was a semifinalist a year ago. You mentioned Dunn, Johnson, Recaro, and Strait. Vanessa DiBarnardo, who plays for Janet Rayfield at Illinois, is fast becoming one of those names that everybody knows, also a member of that U20 team. Extremely talented. Of course, her father, Angelo DiBarnardo, was outstanding at Indiana, so the bloodline's pretty good there, Charlie.
Bloodline is pretty good, and Angelo was quite a player at IU.
And now at Illinois, a fellow Big Ten school, Vanessa DiBarnardo, so good on set pieces as well. Dangerous free kick, can actually bend it like Beckham just a little bit. As you look at her here, she's so good on her free kick opportunities, can put it on a dime in the box and find fellow Illinois teammates, as Vanessa DiBarnardo has been an outstanding member of the Illinois team. All right, that is the midfielders here as we roll on as part of the 2013 MAC Hermann Watch Lists. And as we start thinking about forwards, Charlie Slago, make no mistake that there's been some great forwards over the years, but back from 2005 to 2008, there was a woman named Carrie Hanks who was an absolute destroyer, winning the Hermann Trophy Award not once but twice, as a sophomore in 2006 and then again as a senior in 2008. She's now a mom of just a couple weeks ago, and we caught up to the new mom, Carrie Hanks, and two-time MAC Hermann Trophy winner. Joined now by Carrie Hanks. She won the MAC Hermann Trophy twice in 2006 and 2008. And she's the only player to ever have 84 goals and 73 assists. A great career with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and on the special MAC Hermann Award presentation by the NSCAA. Obviously, we're delighted to have you on the program, Carrie Hanks.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very honored.
And of course, I know you were honored back in 2006 and 2008. What did winning the MAC Hermann Trophy Award mean to you?
Oh, I mean, it still kind of hasn't hit me yet. A lot of people talk about it, and I'm just kind of like think about it, and I'm like, wow, like it's awesome. It's a great award. I know I kind of talked to you a little bit, but I always go back to it being a team award. And in 2006, I was really kind of shocked because I was going up against some great opponents, Yael and Heather O'Reilly, and I was really shocked at that point because I was a sophomore, and Heo was awesome. I mean, she was my teammate with the national team, so I was kind of really shocked with that one. And then 2008, it was just, it was a bittersweet one because it was my senior year. I was glad I won it, but at the same time, in both of those years, in 08 and 06, we lost to North Carolina in the Final Four. So I was kind of like, ugh, I wish I could give the Hermann Award to them and then make a national championship. But I mean, it's just such an honor, and I can't be like more excited about it. But I always go back to saying it's a team award, and if I didn't have my teammates setting me up for the goals and making it, and then the assist and stuff, that I wouldn't be able to have that award. So I think the Notre Dame teammates and obviously my staff for putting me in the right situations.
Carrie, I remember calling your games both in college and at the pro level, and you were what I'd like to call, in the most friendly way, a destroyer. I mean, you just absolutely destroyed your opposition. But now you're a young mom. You just had a baby boy, I understand. Yes. I mean, talk about how that has changed, Carrie Hanks, what motherhood means to you now.
Oh, my gosh. Everyone always kind of talks about like you can't love something so little, so it's kind of cliche, but it really is the truth. You just don't realize it until you have one. And I mean, I absolutely love soccer, and I played pro a little bit, and then after that kind of struggled a little bit, but then I was coaching, kind of followed soccer. Soccer was my life, which was awesome, and that's what I wanted to do, and I loved it. I ended up meeting my husband while I was coaching, and realized, like, I don't want to chase soccer everywhere, but it's really exciting. I have him in my lap. He's about to get a little bit fussy, but he's fine.
Well, let's see him real quick so everybody watching the special MAC Hermann Award.
Your debut, buddy.
Here it is.
He's still in his pajamas, but this is our little guy.
And what's his name, Carrie?
His name is Grayson.
Grayson. All right. Well, who knows? Maybe he'll win the Hermann as well. One of the all-time great college women's soccer players ever. Carrie Hanks, thanks for being with us on this very special program.
Thank you so much.
All right. Boy, Randy Waldrum loved having Carrie Hanks. And let's take a look here at several outstanding candidates for forwards as part of the 2013 Women's MAC Hermann Watch List, Charlie.
Yes, let's highlight Texas Tech sophomore, 14 goals as a freshman, Janine Becky. She had a great year at Texas Tech for the Red Raiders. Amanda Frisbee from Portland, a senior, led the WCC in both goals and points last year. Katie Stengel, senior at Wake Forest. She has, 44 goals in her first 3 years. If she were to get 16 goals this year, she'd be the first player in the ACC in almost 15 years to get 60 goals. She has been a mainstay there and somebody that everybody needs to watch. Taylor Ewell, goes to Stanford this year after being at Minnesota, scoring 20-plus goals each of the first 2 years, and now goes to Stanford and makes a strong team even stronger. And then Hannah Wilkinson came in as a sophomore, came in late to Tennessee after playing for the U20s for New Zealand, had 8 goals, and she will be a factor this year too.
All right, and let's roll to some highlights as Kristen Hamilton helped make history by leading the Denver Pioneers to their first ever round of 16 in the NCAA tournament 2012. She was named a third-team All-American by the NSCAA. It was her second consecutive Player of the Year award as well. She had 14 goals in 2012 and sits in a tie for 6th place in the DU record books. And how about Tessa McKibben, who stars at St. Francis, Pennsylvania. McKibben, a senior forward. Very good. First ever Northeastern Conference 3-time Player of the Year, Charlie.
3-time Player of the Year, and she's got one more chance. Obviously, a great player in the NEC.
Well, and Kalia Ojai is going to make sure that soccer fans aren't just targeting Crystal Dunn for North Carolina, as Kalia Ojai also on that list, and she was a semifinalist a year ago for Anson Dorrance.
Right, and she's a very good player and can play up top, and Crystal Dunn can play almost anywhere too, so it's going to be another big-time year for UNC.
Kalia Ojai, fantastic in that combination with Crystal Dunn. I'm glad you mentioned Katie Stengel as well. Should do a great job for Tony DeLuz. All right, we've taken a look at goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, forwards. Now, Charlie, last week you picked a winner for the entire NCAA tournament. Who's going to win the 2013 MAC Hermann Trophy?
Well, even though Jason Gary says it almost always goes to forwards and we don't know where she's going to play, but he also went with a repeat. I'm going to go with a repeat with Crystal Dunn. She is a player who will be here all year this year, so her stats will be even better. If Anson Dorrance needs her at the back, he'll play her in the back. If he needs her in the front, he'll play her in the front. More than likely play in the midfield. I think she's the player to beat.
All right, Charlie, thank you so much. And we've got more exciting action coming on NSCAA TV, and that includes an unbelievable NAIA schedule brought to you by Turbo. Then how about on Friday, August 30th, a doubleheader, men and women, South Florida and Clemson, and South Florida and Florida Gulf Coast right here on NSCAA TV. And Turbo's National Men's Soccer Game of the Week. The list is endless. You can check it out by going to NSCAA TV. For our producer, director, Kyle Lang, I want to thank my in-studio guest, Maryland Jason Gary, the 2005 MAC Hermann Trophy winner, former Davidson coach Charlie Slago, our Skype guest, 1991 Hermann winner Christine Lilly, two-time MAC Hermann winner Carrie Hanks, 1986 Hermann Trophy winner John Kerr, and this year's candidate from Duke, Natasha Anasi. Of course, I want to thank all of the coaches and SIDs that helped make this show possible, and our wonderful sponsors, Continental Tire, Lumber Liquidators, Shattuck St. Mary's at Disney Soccer. I also want to thank Jim Wilson and the entire gang at the Missouri Athletic Club, and of course the great crew at the NSCAA, including their pioneering CEO Joe Cummings, Chris Burt, Rob Kehoe, Christine Mason, Monique Bowman, Kathleen Hermish, Pat Madden, Steve Veal, and the entire NSCAA gang. I'm Dean Linke, thanking you and reminding you that this broadcast of the weekly College Highlights and Rankings show was presented by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. The NSCAA works every day to inspire coaches and ignite their passion for the game so they pass it on to players and others in the soccer community. That goal is fulfilled through 3 core values: learn, participate, belong. Visit nscaa.com for more information, and thanks for watching NSCAA TV.